The stars were alive with movement, great ships of the Zalari Council drifting across the dark sea of the galaxy. Their mission was simple, yet urgent. They were searching for new worlds, planets to expand upon, places to call colonies. The galaxy was vast, but safe worlds were rare. On the command deck of the main vessel, High Scholar Valen studied the glowing maps before him. His large silver eyes blinked as new data poured into their system. One planet in particular caught his attention. It was blue, green, and covered with clouds. "Strange," Valen whispered. His assistant, Tora, leaned closer. "This world is filled with storms, active volcanoes, and unstable climates. The surface temperature changes violently. Predators roam its lands, and diseases are everywhere." Valen frowned. "Such a planet should be empty. No advanced life can survive here." The scanners zoomed closer. The alien crew gasped in unison. For across the dark side of the planet, millions of lights shone brightly, cities, powered by energy, glowing like jewels against the night. "This is impossible," Tora muttered. "Civilization cannot exist here. This is the galaxy's deadliest planet. Yet there are people. They live there." The council chamber filled with noise as the news spread. Some laughed, thinking it must be an error. Others trembled, for if the scans were true, then a great mystery was waiting. Reports confirmed the truth. The planet was called Earth, and the species that lived there named themselves humans. The Zalari Council summoned all their leaders. They replayed the scans again and again, showing endless oceans filled with storms, deserts burning with heat, mountains shaking with quakes, and forests crawling with deadly beasts. Yet in every corner of the planet, humans had built homes, towns, and entire empires. "This is madness," one elder shouted. "How could fragile creatures thrive in such a place?" "Maybe they are not fragile," Valen replied calmly. "Maybe they are something else." Curiosity turned into fear, for if humans could live in such conditions, what else could they endure? The aliens decided to send quiet probes, small machines to fly over Earth and gather images. What they saw shocked them further. In the middle of raging storms, humans worked together to rebuild broken houses. In deserts, they carried water for miles and planted crops. In icy wastelands, they hunted, traded, and sang songs around fires. "They adapt," Tora said with awe. "No matter the danger, they find a way. It is as if the planet itself trained them to survive." For weeks, the aliens watched. Their amazement only grew. They saw humans facing wild animals, and instead of running, they crafted tools and weapons. They saw humans fall to sickness, yet rise again with strange medicines and stubborn strength. They saw humans fight each other in endless wars, yet still grow stronger from the ashes. "This world should have destroyed them," Valen said in disbelief, but instead, it forged them. One night, a probe hovered over a human city. The aliens saw millions of people walking through glowing streets, living, laughing, and creating art. Their voices echoed into the night, songs filled with joy and pain, hope and struggle. The council chamber was silent. Every leader stared at the images, for in those lights, they saw something terrifying: resilience. Humans did not just survive Earth, they mastered it. They claimed the deadliest planet as their home, and they thrived. "They are not weak," whispered one elder. "They are dangerous." But Valen only shook his head. "No, they are not dangerous because of weapons or armies. They are dangerous because nothing breaks them. If they can endure this world, then perhaps they can endure anything." The silence that followed was heavy. For the first time in centuries, the Council of the Zalari felt a shiver of fear. Earth was not just a planet, it was a crucible, and its children, the humans, were the fire that came from it, and deep in the shadows of space, whispers began to spread among the alien fleets. A question carried in hushed voices: if they can live there, what will happen when they leave it? The Zalari ships floated in the void, their scanners watching Earth like silent predators. Day by day, more data arrived, and with every report the aliens grew restless. This was no ordinary world. This was a puzzle that defied all their logic. The council decided that watching from afar was no longer enough. Small cloaked vessels were dispatched into Earth's skies. Their mission was to blend into the shadows, to observe the humans more closely. From orbit, they saw endless oceans whipped by storms. They expected the humans to flee from such chaos, Yet humans sailed across the waves in fragile ships, fishing, trading, even exploring. A storm sank one vessel, but the survivors clung to debris, singing together as lightning flashed above. "They laugh in the face of death," whispered Torah, her voice trembling. On the deserts, the probes found tribes walking under the burning sun, their skin cracked, their lips dry, but still they pressed forward, carrying water jars and seeds. They planted food in land that should have been dead and somehow made it grow. "Impossible," one alien murmured. "This world tries to kill them every day, but they answer with life." The probes moved to the mountains. Here humans climbed icy cliffs, their breath fogging in the cold air. Their fingers bled, yet they sang songs of victory when they reached the peaks. Children danced in the snow as if the freezing winds were nothing but play. "They do not see danger the way we do," Valen observed. "They see it as a challenge, something to conquer." The aliens began recording everything, every detail bumped in. Human struggle and triumph. What they saw unsettled them. A village torn apart by an earthquake was rebuilt in days. Humans lifted stone after stone, their hands raw, their bodies broken. But they refused to stop until every home stood again. They did not wait for safety. They created it. "They fall but they rise," Valen said, staring at the screen. "Always." The council was divided. Some believed humans were blessed with luck. Others believed they were cursed to fight endlessly. But one truth could not be denied: humans endured. On the third week, one of the cloaked vessels made a bold choice. It drifted lower into the sky, down where the clouds burned red with sunset. From its window, the crew could see a human city glowing with countless fires and lights. The humans below looked up. Some pointed, some prayed. Others simply smiled as if welcoming the unknown. Not a scream, not a panic. Just calm eyes staring into the heavens. "They know we are here," Torah whispered, fear in her voice. Valen's eyes narrowed. "Then they are braver than we imagined." But something strange happened. A small boy in the city raised his hand as if greeting the ship, and though the aliens were hidden behind cloaking fields, the boy's smile widened. He whispered something the scanners barely caught. "We are not afraid." The alien crew recoiled. Cold dread settled over them. How could a child of such a deadly world look into the endless sky and speak with no fear? The Zalari returned the data to the council. Panic spread like fire. Some demanded immediate retreat. Others shouted for war before humans could spread beyond their world. But a few, like Valen, remained silent. His thoughts were darker. If they are this strong on their cursed world, he wondered, what happens when they step beyond it? For the first time in centuries, the mighty council felt powerless. Earth was no longer just a dangerous planet, it was a warning, and humanity, unaware of the fear it inspired, kept living, kept building, kept thriving. Every day they grew stronger. Every day the universe watched in silence. But whispers began to rise in the dark corners of the galaxy. Ancient races speaking the same question, a question that carried both awe and dread. Is Earth a prison or a forge? The alien probes drifted silently above Earth, but silence could not hide forever. Humans were beginning to notice strange lights in the skies. Farmers spoke of shadows moving across the moon. Fishermen told of glowing machines vanishing into the sea. Hunters swore they saw eyes watching them from the clouds. The Zalari dismissed these claims at first, believing humans too primitive to understand. But soon they realized the truth. Humans were not only survivors, they were observers too. Their instincts were sharp, sharpened by centuries of danger. On Earth, anything unknown was treated as a threat, and humans never ignored threats. In the deserts, a probe followed a caravan. The humans stopped suddenly, staring at the sky. Without warning, they raised their weapons and fired arrows into the air. The probe fled, but the humans cheered as if they had chased away a predator. "They see us," Torah whispered nervously. In the frozen north, a tribe gathered around their fire. The aliens listened as an elder spoke. His words were translated by the machines. "The sky watches us. It sends metal birds. They test our strength, but we are not weak." The tribe raised their spears to the sky, flames flickering in their eyes. "This is dangerous," another alien muttered. "They are not afraid. They are preparing." Meanwhile, the probes kept recording the brutal challenges Earth threw at its children. A hurricane tore across the coast, shattering homes. Humans clung to each other, rebuilding even while the storm still raged. They tied ropes to stand against the winds, carrying food and water to the weak. No other species, the Zala, Bree had studied, would fight in the middle of disaster, but humans did. They resist the planet itself, Valen said quietly. They do not wait for calm, they fight the storm until it ends. In jungles thick with poison and predators, the aliens saw humans crafting traps, studying venom, and turning dangers into tools. A serpent's poison became medicine. A deadly plant became food after boiling. Every threat that should have ended them became another reason they grew stronger. The Zalari were divided. Some believed humans were monsters shaped by a cursed world. Others whispered that Earth was alive, that the planet itself was testing its children, and those children had passed every trial. But then came the most disturbing event. One probe, hidden high in the clouds, watched a human village. A little girl, no older than 7, walked into a field and stared straight into the sky. She pointed at the invisible machine and spoke with a steady voice. "We know you are there," she said. "The sky is not empty, but remember this, Earth is ours." The alien crew froze in horror. How could she know? The cloaking was perfect, yet her words were clear. The humans were aware. The council chamber erupted in fear when the recording was shown. Leaders shouted over each other. Some demanded immediate withdrawal. Others pushed for extermination before humans discovered space travel. But Valen remained calm. His silver eyes burned with something darker. "They already sense us," he said. "And if they can sense us, they will one day find us." The room fell silent. His words carried a weight none could deny. For the first time, the aliens were forced to face a chilling truth. Humanity was not only surviving Earth. They were learning, they were adapting, and soon they would look beyond their deadly home. Far below, on the planet's surface, humans gazed at the stars with unshaken eyes. Some prayed, some dreamed, others prepared. They did not yet know what waited among the stars, but deep inside, they already felt it. The galaxy was watching. And one day, humanity would watch back. The Zalari had watched long enough. For weeks their cloaked ships circled Earth, probing its skies and oceans. But the humans were growing restless. Their eyes turned upward too often. Their stories spread too far. Their instincts were too sharp. The Council of the Zalari feared exposure, yet High Scholar Valen argued, "Hiding will only increase their suspicion. Let them see us. Let us see how they respond." After long debate, the council agreed. The time had come. One silent night over the city of New Alexandria, the sky cracked with light. A vast ship, larger than any human building, shimmered into view. Its cloak dissolved, revealing silver metal that reflected the moon. For the first time in history, humanity looked directly at an alien vessel. At first, people froze in disbelief. Some screamed, others dropped to their knees. But then something strange happened. The crowd steadied, their fear turned to awe. Faces lifted, eyes narrowed, and not a single person ran. On the alien bridge, Tora whispered, "They are not afraid." Her voice shook. "They should be terrified." Valen only watched, his expression unreadable. The Zalari sent a signal. A beam of light formed words in the sky, written in every human language. "We are not your enemy, we come to learn." The world erupted. Leaders scrambled, armies mobilized, satellites turned. But in the streets, the people only stared at the ship, as if they had always expected someone was waiting in the stars. The Zalari sent envoys. Slender figures of pale silver skin stepped down from their craft into a human capital. Soldiers surrounded them, weapons raised. But the humans did not fire. Instead, their leader stepped forward, a woman in a dark uniform. She spoke with steady voice. "You thought Earth was empty. You thought no one could live here, but whoa, alive we endure, and we welcome you." The Zalari envoys were silent. In their hearts, shock rippled like thunder. They had expected fear, panic, or even worship. Instead, they were met with calm acceptance. Later, as night fell, the aliens sat across from human leaders in a grand hall. The air was tense. The Zalari admitted their surprise. They spoke of Earth's storms, its disasters, its dangers. They confessed that they had believed no life could survive. The human leader only smiled. "Earth is not kind, it never was. but it taught us strength. We do not survive in spite of danger, we survive because of it. The word struck the council like a blade. Around the chamber, alien eyes widened. They realized something chilling. Humans did not just live on Earth. They thrived because Earth forced them to. Tora leaned close to Valen, whispering, "They are not what we thought. They are more, far more." And outside, the people of Earth gathered beneath the alien ship, chanting together, their voices rising into the night. Their song echoed through the city, carrying one clear message: we are not fragile, we are not broken, we are unyielding. The Zalari ships trembled as the sound reached them. For the first time, the aliens wondered if perhaps their mighty fleets, their ancient wisdom, and their countless worlds would one day bow to the children of Earth. The galaxy had revealed itself to humanity. But what terrified the Zalari most was the quiet certainty in human eyes. Humanity had always known the galaxy would come, and now that it had, they were ready. The Council of the Zalari could not rest. Their first meeting with humans had shaken their pride. Never before had they encountered a species that looked at them without fear. They needed answers. They needed to understand if humanity's strength was an illusion or something far greater. So the tests began. The Zalari envoys visited human leaders, their voices smooth, their promises grand. They spoke of safer worlds beyond Earth, planets free of storms, free of predators, free of sickness. Leave this cruel planet, they urged. Come to our colonies, live in comfort, live without struggle. But the humans refused. Their leader answered simply, Earth made us who we are. If we abandon it, we abandon ourselves. The aliens did not understand. They had traveled the stars for centuries seeking peace and safety. Yet these humans embraced danger as if it was a gift. So the Zalari offered more. Technology beyond human reach, weapons of power, medicines that could heal any wound. Swear loyalty to us, they said, and we will give you all of this. Again, the humans refused. Their answer was colder this time. We will build with our own hands. We will bleed if we must, but what we create will be ours. The council chamber shook with anger. Why do they refuse what others beg for? Shouted one elder. Do they not know what they are turning away from? Valen only whispered. They know, and that is why they refuse. But the aliens were not finished. They wanted to see how far humans could endure, so they created trials, hidden at first. A drought spread across one region after alien interference, yet humans dug deeper, carried water across deserts, and still planted seeds. A plague was unleashed upon a coastal city. Yet doctors and healers fought it with fire and determination, creating cures from nothing. The aliens watched with growing unease. Instead of breaking, humanity only grew stronger. Every challenge hardened them. Every trial lifted them higher. They turned suffering into strength, Tora whispered. Every time we strike, they rise higher. The breaking point came when the Zalari simulated disaster. They sent a storm against a human settlement, wind and fire tearing the land apart, expecting humans to cry out for mercy. Instead, the people linked arms, singing as they rebuilt, refusing to abandon their land, refusants. To surrender, one alien commander shouted. This is madness. This species does not survive, it defies. They make war on despair itself. The council was shaken. Their tests had not weakened humanity. They had revealed the truth. Humanity was unbreakable. When confronted, the human leader spoke with quiet fire. We do not fear storms. We are storms. We do not fear the darkness. We bring light into it. Earth is our trial, and from that trial we were forged. The words spread like wildfire through alien fleets. Soldiers whispered, leaders trembled. For the first time they understood what stood before them, not fragile beings of flesh, but a force born from the deadliest planet in the galaxy, a people who refused comfort, who embraced struggle, who grew stronger with every blow. Valen looked out at Earth glowing blue beneath the stars and spoke the words none dared to. If they can survive here, then nothing in this galaxy can stop them. And in the silence that followed, the Zalari felt the weight of the future pressing down, a future in which humanity was not a minor race, but the storm that would one day sweep across the stars. The Zalari Council thought they had seen everything. They had tested the humans with storms, with plagues, with fire and famine. But Earth's children never broke. Instead, they rose stronger. Yet the true test was not planned by the Council. It came from the galaxy itself, far beyond Earth. A star burned unstable. Its heart cracked, spilling waves of destruction. The energy storm raced through space, tearing apart satellites, melting ships, and burning entire colonies of other alien races. Panic swept through the galactic network. Worlds screamed for help. Fleets collapsed. The mighty Zalari themselves struggled to hold against the wave, but when the storm reached Earth, something unexpected happened. Humanity did not fall. The sky burned with fire as auroras swept across the planet. Power grids shattered. Oceans boiled at the edges. Hurricanes twisted across continents. Yet humanity did not collapse into chaos. Instead, they stood, they fought, they rebuilt. In cities without light, people lit fires and sang to the night. In towns without power, they crafted tools by hand and shared food. Where floods struck, they built bridges. Where disease spread, doctors worked day and night. Humanity bent, but it did not break. Alien fleets watched from orbit, their own systems crippled. They saw humans moving through disaster as if it was nothing new. For them it was not. For them it was life. Earth had always been cruel, and this storm was only another trial. Tora gasped as the data streamed in. They adapt faster than any species. What destroys us, they endure. What endangers us, they turn into a lesson. Valen's voice was quiet but filled with awe. This is their nature. They do not run from the fire. They walk through it. But it was not only survival. When alien distress calls reached Earth, humans answered. With ships that should not have flown, with technology patched together from scraps, they launched into the storm, risking their lives to rescue others. The Zalari ships lay helpless, caught in the storm's grip. It was human pilots who guided them out, human engineers who rewired systems under deadly radiation, human hands that saved thousands. Aliens who had once looked at humans as fragile now stared in silence, their pride broken, their fear replaced with respect. For these beings did not only survive the storm, they helped others survive it too. One alien commander whispered, "They endure the unendurable. They even save those who would call them weak. They are not prey, they are guardians." When the storm finally faded, the galaxy looked to Earth with new eyes. A planet once seen as cursed was now seen as sacred, a forge of strength. The Council of the Zalari gathered in silence, their voices hushed, their faces pale. Valen broke the silence with words that echoed across the chamber. The humans have proven themselves. Earth is not their weakness. It is their weapon. And now the galaxy knows it. And in that moment, every leader felt the same cold truth. Humanity would not remain on their single deadly world forever. They had tasted the storm of the stars and stood tall. Soon they would step beyond, and when they did, nothing would stand in their way. The storm had passed, but the galaxy was forever changed. Across 1,000 star systems, whispers spread of the world called Earth. The planet that should have been empty, the world that should have killed its children. Yet instead, it had raised them into something unbreakable. On distant worlds, alien scholars argued in disbelief. No species can live under such conditions, they said. But the recordings told the truth. The images showed humans standing in fire, singing in storms, rebuilding in the shadow of ruin. The evidence was undeniable. Fear spread among the old empires. They had ruled for centuries without challenge. Now they looked at Earth and trembled. For what would happen when these humans, these storm-born survivors, began to walk among the stars? In secret chambers, warlords demanded preemptive strikes. Destroy them before they spread, they shouted. But others shook their heads. If they can survive Earth, they can survive war. If we strike, we may awaken something worse. Meanwhile, voices of respect rose among the oppressed races of the galaxy. To them, the humans were not a threat but a beacon. If they can endure their cursed world, they whispered, then so can we. Humanity proves that weakness can become strength, that suffering can become power. On Earth, humanity continued to rise. They did not see themselves as legends. They did not hear the whispers of fear. To them, they were only doing what they had always done, surviving, adapting, thriving. Yet slowly, their ships began to touch the stars, first to the moon, then to Mars, then further still. Each step carried the fire of their home, each step whispered of storms endured. The Zalari Council gathered one last time, staring at the glowing sphere of Earth. Torah's voice was hushed. We watched them, we tested them, and still they stand. Another elder shook his head. They are not survivors. They are conquerors of fate itself. But Valen spoke the truth that none could deny. Earth did not curse them. Earth forged them. Where we see danger, they see challenge. Where we see death, they see life. They are not children of weakness. They are children of the storm. And so the story spread. Across the galaxy, beings told each other in hushed voices, beware the world called Earth. For it raises champions. It breeds the unyielding. Its children will one day walk among us, and when they do, the stars themselves may tremble. On the surface of Earth, under the endless night sky, a child pointed upward. His eyes burned with wonder. His voice was steady as he whispered, the stars are waiting, and we are coming. The universe listened. The silence of space shivered, for everyone knew the truth. If humanity could thrive on the deadliest planet in the galaxy, then nothing in all the stars could ever stop them.